There we go. Excellent. Yeah, so my name is Anush. I'll be the co-host for today, along with Dr. Abadan Ledisope.
Yes, you welcome everyone. My name is Abolanle Adesipe. I'll be here hosting with Alosh today and with the presenter to us. Thank you for joining us.
So very welcome to Ellipsa. So just to recap, I know we've got a few new faces joining us today for the webinar, but also in our WhatsApp community as well. We
Yeah.
start, yeah. Sorry, Gabriele.
Okay. This is our team. We all work together towards the goal of educating the community. So this is our team.
You've got a powerful team behind, and then yeah, we've been going for 2.5 years now, so it's a great journey. And then throughout that, we have got your support, and we've built the community again with your support. We've now have 201 members within the Ellipsa community across the world. So if you are joining Ellipsa for the first time, this would be a really good time to join our community and our family. We are definitely a family here. So today, our topic is empty and emptying nest, effect of aging on parents whose children live abroad. Like I said, I think this is a very pertinent subject for many of us. I am a born and bred Indian, but my family is still back in India. So this is something I know firsthand as well. So yeah, I think it's a very important topic for the parents, but also the children as well, to see how they can make their lives of their parents easier if they are abroad. So I am looking forward to this very much as well. As always, we'll have an important chunk of time dedicated to question and answers at the end. So please not take note of your own questions and then put that in the chat box, or you can always use your camera to ask the questions directly to the speaker.
Yeah, the housekeeping rule, please, if you could be on mute while the session is going on, and if you could switch on your camera, we would like to see your lovely faces, and it would be nice if you can raise your hands up to ask questions when the time is on for the question, and you could always use the chat box as well to ask the questions.
So before we get stuck into the actual webinar, we've got a very important innovation to talk about today. So this is the Ellipsa app. So as you know, Ellipsa's connections and family is spread across different places. So we've got our website, we've got our YouTube channel, we've got our WhatsApp community. So what we are trying to do here is to bring it all together and to build an Ellipsa app. So you can read our blogs, you can see past presentations, etc., and see our community within this app. So this is a very important thing we feel within the Ellipsa team. So, but we need to hear what you want to see in that app, and Ellipsa won't be Ellipsa without you. So I really request you to go to this link. You can use the QR code, or the link would be put in the chat box as well. So if you can take 2-3 minutes of your time to fill that form, that would greatly help us. That would enable us to understand what the Ellipsa family and community wants, and then we can start working on the app. We don't want to make something that nobody within the Ellipsa community wants. We want to co-develop and co-create this with you. So please use the link or the QR code to tell us what you want from the Ellipsa app. I'm gonna give you a few minutes to do that. Like I said, this is very important for all of us. So I'm gonna stop talking for 2 minutes, and then you have some time to fill the form. It won't take you long. It's a very short form, but it will help us to understand what features would be needed in that app. Let me just make sure that the link is in the chat. Yeah, is the link in the chat, or is it just me that can't see anything?
Yes, the link is in the chat, Alosh.
Yeah, for some reason I cannot read anything in the chat. I can only see some words. It's fine. Excellent.
So we've had 2 more responses, making 38 in total.
Thank you for that. Please add more to it.
And then we'll obviously share. I think we've shared the link in the WhatsApp community before as well. But if you didn't have time to complete it now, we'll share it again in the WhatsApp community so that you can have it as a tab on your phone or your laptop. But it's really, really important that you do complete it. So thank you so much for people who have completed it already, and then we implore the others to complete it as well as soon as possible. So without much further ado, let me introduce you to today's speaker, Dr. Ahmed Oladosu. So he's a consultant psychiatrist at Lincolnshire and Partnership Foundation Trust within the NHS. And then, yeah, he has got lots of experience with old age community in both the UK and Nigeria. So as I've said before, it's going to be a really interesting topic for all of us. Especially people like me who live away from home, my home country. I want to see what my parents are going through. I think it's going to be really important for that. And I think we'll talk about. He has got lots of experience with family therapy and things like that. So that would be really, I'll be really keen for today's presentation. And welcome, Dr. Ahmed Oladosu, and thank you so much for your time for the presentation.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon. Or is it good evening? Yes, and it's a huge privilege to be here. You forgive my tongue of slip or slip of tongue, you see. Psychiatrists generally work the other way around. We start from the end and end at the beginning, you see. Or sometimes we start at the beginning and end at the end. In this case, I chose to start in the middle, as it were, when I said good afternoon. So yes, it's going to be. I suppose we're going to have a good time tonight, and it will be I expect that it will be as informative as it should be provoking in a sense, because looking at our community, I get a sense that we are from the same sort of pool. There's an Indian here, there are Nigerians here, there are people from all parts of the world, and it's a case of, why have we come here? What are we doing here? Are the nests at home, are they empty? Are they half empty, or are they full? But what qualifies me really to talk about empty nests? Could you please move the slide forward a bit? I like to say that I have a lot of experience as a storyteller, because all psychiatrists by their very nature are storytellers. We start our stories from before people were born. So if I was to ask you, Alosh, what can you tell me about yourself? You probably say, well, I'm from India, I lived in Mumbai or Delhi or somewhere. However, the story doesn't start there. The story actually starts before you were born. And that's where we start from. So we start the story from before you were born, your present life, and we take a look into the future. It's like having a crystal ball and looking into the future to see what's going to happen to him in the future. What's the prognosis? What does it look like? Where is he heading? This is what we do, and this is what I do. So I like to describe myself as a storyteller of some sort. Please go on. I think this is going to be very evident in this presentation. A very notable world figure, a long time ago, before he died, said in public that now I'm ready to die. Now I can die in peace. So my question to the audience is, who do you think made this statement? Could you type it in and let's see what the votes are? We've got maybe 15 seconds to do that, and then we'll go on. Now I can die in peace. Who said that? Can someone tell us the results, please? Della. Okay, maybe Martin Luther King. Yes, I like the idea of Martin Luther King. Someone was, yeah. Can we move the slide forward by one? This is like the medical school exam, MCQ. Can you move it forward a bit? I've got a few tips for you to be one of these 4 people. So who is this first guy here? We all know him, don't we? Who is that? Type his name, say his name.
Mandela.
Mandela, yes, thank you. And who is the other guy, the next one to him?
Lincoln.
Lincoln, and move the slides forward. This is a brief, okay, no more admins on this chart. Admins should not tell us who they are. Who is this guy wearing the football jersey?
Bill Simons, is it?
Bill Simons. Who is that? Is Bill Simons the name of a person, place, thing? I don't know. Who is this? This guy in blue and white stripes.
Maradona.
Maradona. Thank you very much. Are there no footballers here? That's Diego Armando Maradona. And the last one, of course, I should know who this is. Who is this last one?
Mahatma Gandhi.
Mahatma Gandhi, yes. So if we look at these iconic people, I suspect that at some point in their lives, they were the most respected people in their political life. And if you look at Maradona, probably in his sporting life, because he was very good. I remember him playing against Nigeria in 1994 and getting a penalty. I'm not sure that was supposed to be a penalty, but I won't hold that against him. He's late now. Now, think about these people, right? These 4 of them: Maradona, Mandela, Mahatma Gandhi, Abe Lincoln. If we think again, who said this? Who was it that could have said, at this point in my life, I'm happy to die in peace? Are you changing your mind? Somebody is insisting on Mandela. It might be Mandela. Maybe, maybe. I'm not sure. Okay. Right. I think someone wants to say something. There's a raised hand. Is that
Yes, can you hear
possible?
me?
Yes, we can. Yes.
I think it's Jacob, the prophet Jacob. He said when he,
Prophet.
because he returned to his family, to his son Joseph.
Right. Right. Now that's very instructive, and I think this gentleman Tanvir is a great historian. He remembers even the biblical stories. However, I gave something away that this guy who said this, his picture is here on the screen. So it's one of these 4 guys. Is either Maradona, Mandela, Mahatma Gandhi, or Abe Lincoln. Perhaps the very first person to say it was Jacob, yes. But in the contemporary world, okay, let's move on to the next slide. Gandhi, maybe. Now, this takes us to the next slide, which is the slide about Maslow's pyramid. And this just tells us about human needs. So the person, so at the level, at the basal level, at the lowest level of human existence, all we want as babies, or if you look at the people in the war-torn regions of the world, like in Gaza, for example, all they want is air, water, food, shelter, clothing, and the ability to live and protect their families. When you've achieved that, then you go to personal security, then you want some money, and you want health, and then you want to buy a house, you want to buy a car, and then you long for some love and belonging, and then you want to go up to the green strip there, where you want to have have some influence, some esteem, some recognition. And at the very top of it is when you've achieved everything that you think you can ever achieve in life. So if we cast our minds back to those 4 people, which of them do you think achieved everything he wanted to achieve? They are all great people. 10 seconds for that, and then we'll go to the answer. Great answers. Great answers. Gandhi, Mandela, Gandhi, Mandela. Let's see who said it. Next slide. If you can permit the use of the word sayer, the sayer is Mandela. Now there's another question I'd like you to answer, which is on the next slide. When did Mandela say this? Was it when he went to jail? Was it whilst he was in jail or upon his release from jail? Or was it in a traditional ceremony? Or was it when he sort of won and overcame apartheid? Or when he handed over to Thabo Mbeki, the president that succeeded him, as probably the first person in Africa to willingly spend 1 term in office? When did he make that? Yes, it could have been in jail upon his release. Yeah. Great. I think everybody here is very brilliant. All the answers are correct. From reverse, he made this statement during a traditional ceremony. And it's interesting to think about a man who is so great that in his greatness, he probably was the most respected person whilst he was alive. And when Mandela spoke, everyone kept quiet. Well, he did not say these things when he went to jail or when he was released or when apartheid was outlawed or anything. He said it in a traditional ceremony. But in what context? Can you move the slide further, please? Have you
Is it the
skipped?
right slide or did I skip something?
Okay, so it's the right slide. Why did he make that statement? He made that statement when he was near the time he was going to die. And at that time, his grandson had just become the chief of his clan. So Mandela's father was a chief. His grandfather was a king in their tribe. His own grandson now became a chief in his clan, a very small village in South Africa, where, according to Mandela, he learns to drink milk from the udder of the cow. And that brings us to empty nests. Because if you think about Mandela, great as he is, world famous, world-class guy, his best moments, his moments of fulfillment was not when he achieved all those things that we think he achieved, but rather when he was able to hand over stuff to his own progeny, which in a sense means that he was at his happiest at probably a level above even self-actualization when he was able to say that, when he was able to hand over the leadership of his community to his own child. It wasn't as though he handed it over, it was something that the child deserves. So at that time, we could say Mandela's nest was full because his children or his grandchildren were still in his native land where he really loved. And that for him was a moment where he felt, yeah, now I can die in peace. Now the question is, can our parents, can our loved ones possibly, wherever they may be at this moment, say that they have been able to hand over what they value to us? And can they make the same statement that right now, I can die in peace? I think that's a food for thought. And that brings us to the question of why many of us are where we are, why we've emptied our nests from home, where we are from. Why did we leave home? Why do people really move away from where they are, where they were born? Sometimes it's because the family is expanding, the family is growing, people need more jobs, employment. Some people prefer some other climes to another. Some people prefer to be away from home, and of course, wars can cause people to move from one place to the other. And also, we shouldn't forget, even internal family strife or problems within families can cause families to decide, or people to decide to move. And these are good reasons. I mean, if you live in a one-bedroom apartment, now there are 6 of you, you can afford to rent a house 10 miles away. Well, why not? Or maybe there are no jobs where you live. You move to the next town, or to the next country, or to the next continent, or to the farthest continent, Australia, in this case. So these are reasons, good reasons why people may move location, may change location. Next slide, please. Obviously, there are many advantages of emptying the nest. In fact, I remember at some point, and I'm sure people who are from Nigeria can relate to this, that at some point in the times past, when people, prayed for me at home or said things, and they really meant well for our family, they would say to us, we pray that God will empty your house. And it was a curious prayer. Why would anyone say that God would make your house empty? What sort of notion is that? And I had to ask the question, what does it mean for someone's house to be empty? And I was told that, the meaning of that is that a successful home at some point is empty. If you have not been so well raised enough as to be able to stand on your 2 feet and hold your own in other parts of the world, in other parts of your country, then you will remain at home and you may not be able to leave home, although there are a lot of cultural parallels that we can draw from that. I can see Mr. Tanvir's hand. Do you want to say a word or two, Tanvir?
No, it just mistakenly.
Oh, okay.
Sorry about it.
Fantastic. Okay, so people move, and there are benefits to it, and part of it is that you could grow. For instance, there is no psychiatric hospital in my village where my parents are from in Nigeria. So I moved from there to different parts of Nigeria, and ultimately to this place. You get more exposed, you get more experience, you get more opportunities. Potentially, if I was still in my little village somewhere in Osun State in Nigeria, probably I'll be busy on the farm, getting some cassava or some yams ready, towards the end of the year. Who knows? But these are reasons why people in general, generally would migrate and move. Can we go to the next slide, please? So what is the impact of emptying the nest on the nesters? There's something in psychiatry called neologisms. It means people who are really ill, they have this neologism, they use words any way they like, but there's also poetic license. So nesters in this context is not because there's something wrong with me, it's just because I'm exercising my poetic license to say nesters. So what is the impact of emptying the nests on the primary owners of the nest? What's the impact of you moving away from home? In my case, there are 5 of us, and 3 of us are in the UK. There are 2 of them. One of us is like 3 hours away from my primary base. So there's one person who lives at home with my parents. How does that affect them? What's the impact? It would be great to hear the experience of our fathers in this meeting, our senior citizens of the world, if they can tell us about what are your experiences, how do you feel, how did you feel, and how do you feel as the house began to empty. Part of what we know is that people who, and these are research-based findings, people whose children live away from them are really very anxious, and anxiety manifests as in fear, worry. You don't even know why you're afraid. You just know that you're afraid of something. There's something gnawing and nagging at the back of your mind, but you don't know what it is. You have that free floating anxiety. People have headache. You're not sure. Why does he have a headache? You do an MRI scan. There are no findings. People whose children move away from home also feel depressed. They're very unhappy because it looks like your investment in life is no longer there, even if it's there, but it's not really there as much as you'd like it to be. And the impact of that is that such people whose children have moved away it's not just their mental health that's affected, but also their physical health. So they have an increased rate of stroke. They have an increased risk of dying compared to other people whose children live with them. So we don't live I don't live with my parents now. The chances that my parents die anytime soon are 26 times higher than for somebody who's got all this, is higher than my grandfather, for example, who had all his children around him. And there's a correlation between the distance, the proximity of the children to, even when they move to their family home. So the farther away you move, the worse it is for the original nesters. Next slide, please. But that's not all. You see, that's not all. Probably the worst of all of these symptoms that people can have is loneliness. I have extracted this evening directly from my clinical notes, and this is for a 69-year-old woman whom I saw, who has got intractable depression. There's no amount of medications you could give her that could solve her problems. So if you look at these notes, I copied this directly from her clinic notes. Then I substituted her name with my cousin's name so that I'm not giving too much away. My cousin doesn't live here, so don't worry about it. So look at this woman, Rashida. She said by herself, I am depressed because I'm lonely. Nobody speaks with me. I don't see anybody. She lives, say for example, she lives in London, for example, and her children live in Stevenage, which is probably just about an hour away from London. The children refused to see her, and she said to them, right, I'm going to move from London. I'm going to sell my house, leave London, move to a village near you, so that you could see me more often and I can see you more often. The children, because of their family dynamic, said, no, if you move here, then I'm never, ever going to see you again. I'm going to move away completely. I might move to Australia. So this woman is lonely. She's 69. She's frail. She identified that her problem, she said by herself, my depression is because I'm lonely. If you move the slide forward, please, you see all the medications we gave her. She's on all these medications. And the smallest, now, most of these medications are medications for depression and psychosis. And a long time ago, when I was working in the northern part of Nigeria, where Boko Haram used to be, I was trying to persuade one of my patients to take a certain medication, amitriptyline. It's a very small, very minute medication, it's one of those ones that you can use very freely. The medication is so strong for that patient at that time. It was so strong. The patient said, okay, doctor, you're trying to persuade me to take this, but I'm not. I will only take it on the condition that you take it by yourself. Now, this patient was prescribed 100 milligrams of amitriptyline. So one tablet is 25 milligrams. I took one 25 milligram tablet on a Friday, and I slept throughout the weekend. I was knocked out throughout the weekend. Why was that? Because the medication is so powerful. Now that is 25 milligrams amitriptyline. Now look at all these ones. Quetiapine. This means she's going to take like 150 milligrams twice in a day, and all these things, but they would never work because the cause of the depression is not any of these biological problems that the medications can correct, but the fact that her nest was empty. Do you want to move on, please? Again, we shouldn't be surprised about that, because some of us might know Professor Adileko, who did a lot of work in Nigeria and did a lot of work in Manchester here. He's retired now, and I think he's probably back in Nigeria. The first time he showed me this slide was when I was in my year 2 in medical school in Nigeria. And when he showed us these things, I thought, well, the psychiatrists, come on, they've come with big stories and big grammar, early childhood and all. However, as time went on, as I grew in life and in psychiatry, you can see how all these things apply to us. And getting to late adulthood, if you look at the last box there, is when you are 65 and you're thinking, well, I'm 65 now, I could die anytime. That's a stage where, you begin to think about your life. What have you achieved in life? And so if you have your children around you, if you have a lot of people around you and you're successful in life, you feel very happy with yourself. Otherwise, it will be a case of, oh, what a wasted life. What a wasted opportunity. And this happens a lot to people, even people who are successful. It is worse when people don't have their loved ones around them. So you have a situation where there's nobody around you, you're despairing, there's nobody to comfort you because your son is in UK somewhere and he's giving a lecture at 8 o'clock when he should be at home and having maybe a bowl of a local meal. That's probably going to satisfy your parents more than what you're doing elsewhere. But there are many, many dimensions to it. So the most important aspect of this slide is the last part, when people are in their advanced age and they're looking at reappraising themselves by the day. Part of what they appraise is, where are my children? Where are my children? Where are my loved ones? Can you move on, please? So the impact of emptying nests on the original nesters continues on this slide. And so it starts with people thinking, maybe I'm better off dead. Slowly they graduate. I'm not dead. Okay, well, I hope I'm going to die. Oh, for religious reasons, I'm not going to die now. I'm praying not to die. After a while, it becomes, maybe I should take my own life. After a while, it goes away from, maybe I should take my own life to, I'm taking my own life today. And they tried. And my Rashida, in that earlier slide, had multiple attempts to take her own life. Ultimately, they ultimately take their own lives sometimes. And there's about 15% of people who are lonely and who are elderly would have thought about, maybe I need to die at some point in their lives. The question again for us is, have we asked our own loved ones in Africa, in Asia, in America, in wherever in all the castes, how are you? My dad, my mom, my uncle. Are you happy? Do you think about death? What are your thoughts about death? These are questions we need to ponder on and probably act on in time. Can we move on, please? So we now have a situation where that's what is happening, and we want to help our loved ones. How can we help them? We need to foster resilience in them. We need to make them tough and strong and able to withstand the pressures. How do we do that? We try and build a system around them, biological system. So what we're doing for Rashida, she's not feeling fine. We try all the medications. And whilst we're doing that, we try psychological systems, psychological therapies. However, psychological therapies work better when there's a lot of family support. In fact, we don't start psychological therapy when people are in fluctuant states, when they're in a state of flux where a lot of things is happening for them. No, we like them to be stable, they're in the right headspace, and then they can have the therapy. If you can afford it, you want to support them in the social environment by getting them involved in activities that they would enjoy, things that they've always aspired to do, maybe they never did, or even they did and they still enjoy it. And then we build a good environment around them, physical environment. You have an 80-year-old person who is not able to walk very well. If you look at what they do in the care homes. They give them good chairs that are tall. You rail the walls around your house so that when they want to stand up, they can use it conveniently. You get them commodes in the bathrooms that are comfortable for older people to use. Even if you cannot be there, your essence is there. So if you are not in India, Alosh, and Dr. Professor Fetia Odumosu is not in Nigeria, then she can build this sort of structures around the home so that every day when mommy wakes up or daddy wakes up and he gets up, oh yeah, Fetia did this for me. He remembers that. Yeah, Alosh bought me that car. Yeah. That's my son. I'm going to give him a call today. Those are little things that we can do. And it's very important for us to be able to also encourage our loved ones to engage with nature, because people who engage with nature are generally healthier. It means you walk a bit. If you walk a bit, it means your bones are stronger. It means your blood pressure is lower. It means your insulin, your glucose levels are lower. And so generally, there's a transcendence effect of all of these little activities on all spheres of life. Can we move the slides, please? How do we cope? You want to maintain meaningful contact with your loved ones, like we all try to do with WhatsApp, but WhatsApp it's never as good as touch-stop, touch your mom, give her a hug. Touch-stop is more important. You want to help parents and loved ones to develop a new sense of purpose, hobbies, and career in their where they live. You want to strengthen the family. If it's a dad and a mom that are still there, you want to help them to strengthen the bond between them. And where necessary, you want them to have the necessary professional and therapeutic support by way of professional help. Can we move it forward, please? And finally, before I came here today, I checked ChatGPT. What are the top 10 wishes, last wishes that people who are about to die, what do they want? They don't talk about dying in gilded cages. No, they want to be with their loved ones. They don't want to die alone. They want to have a sense of dignity. Why do they want this? Because if you are there, they are reassured that yeah, when Alosh is there, there's no problem. It's comforting. It gives them a sense of belonging. And how do we do this? Before it gets to a point where they may even pass on, we want to go home, visit them as often as possible, talk to them as often as possible, engage with them as often as possible. Can we move the slides, please? And that is me saying thank you very much for listening in as many languages as I could muster. In my local dialect, we would say Eshe Gani. So thank you all very much for listening. Thank you. I think, yeah, that would be my wrap up, and that would be my take on how how the nests get empty and what the effects of an empty nest could be on families. Now, I suppose the moderator would welcome comments and additions, subtractions, retractions, clarifications, and all the shunts.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ahmed. That was a great presentation. From a personal point of view, I could relate to so many things that he said, and I'm sure that it will be the same for many of the people who attended the webinar as well. And I'm sure that there will be burning questions from the group as well. Before we get into that, is it all right if everyone could turn on their camera so that we can take a really quick picture of everyone's faces? We've got about 55 people, something like that today, and that's our highest attendance in Ellipsa history of 2.5 years. And obviously a big part of it is Dr. Ahmed's presentation, and how much people connected with that topic. So thank you so much again for that. And yeah, can you all turn on your cameras for a second, please? Here we go.
There were a few raised hands, Salosh. I wonder
Yeah.
if people want to speak. There's Ajose Isaiah. Would you like people to speak?
Quickly, sorry, 1 second, Dr. Ahmed. We'll go into the Q&A in a few minutes, so that
Right.
we'll read out the questions, and then there'll be a few.
Hello, everyone. Thank you very
Yeah.
much, Dr. Oladosu, for the insightful and stimulating presentation. So now we can now have the Q&A session. Mr. Ajose Isaiah, can you please unmute your mic? Mr. Ajose Isaiah.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. Thank you for the presentation, Doctor. Yeah, I actually didn't, I think it was a mistake.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yes.
We have another person, Lily. You can also drop your questions in the chat box, if that's okay. So, Miss Lily.
Yeah, hang on a sec. Sorry. Yeah, sorry about that. Sorry, my son wanted to talk to me. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, it was interesting. Thank you for an interesting presentation. I found it very interesting, especially that I'm British born, but my husband is Bangladeshi born and brought up, and he has his father that passed away, but his mother's still alive. And there's a couple of comments. What I would like to say, sorry, I'll try to keep it short because there's so much everybody can talk about in your presentation. My husband is one of 9. I'm one of 6. My father was very pleased that all 5 of his children stayed in Bristol, but he knew that we would not be living with him. Even his sons, he knew they would be living away, especially when he came to Britain. He brought my mother straight away. This is 1960 and all the rest of it. But going back, I talk about my father-in-law, but I find that more interesting when I observe him and my mother-in-law. I would say quite happily that they're very selfish people, to be honest. And I would say that in a very loving, positive way. They educated their children. He married his oldest daughter to an American citizen. And my mother-in-law said, but then he didn't want her to go. He kept her back for 10 years. And my mother-in-law, then why did you marry her to an American citizen? She went after 10 years and she flourished and all the rest of it. And out of
I think there was an issue with the connection.
Lily, can you hear us?
I think she left. I think our connection was disconnected.
Oh, right, okay.
So we can take another question. Mr. Destiny Chukuma. Mr. Destiny, are you there? Okay. Mr. Toba Pamitale.
Okay. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Dr. Oladosu, for that wonderful presentation. Honestly, by the grace of God, I won't be missing webinar from this, our group again. I've learned a lot. And I have things because I jot down some things, and I want to thank my mentor, Professor Fatia, for opening people like us to this. And as a researcher, is really helping us. I have a question, but before the question, I want to contribute another option to what Dr. Ladoso said, and that's the essence in the area. I'm a sports scientist in the area of recreation. Honestly, majority of our aging parents, they be suffering in one thing. And thank you, you gave us some solution like biosystems, ecological systems, social therapy. And I want to meet social therapy with the built environment. I think it is time we create that environment for our parents, even before we know that we will leave home for a very long time. In the area of sport recreation, in the olden days, in this our part of the world, I'm talking of Nigeria, in the olden days, do we have different age group? Even as from age of 60, 70, 80, you will see many people gathering themselves in a particular environment, playing games, ayolokpon, gathering under the tree with their age group. And it really helped many of them. By the time the next emptiness will come, they already have people to live with. Even people that are not from the same family, living in the same environment, they come together. If they don't see one, they will gather themselves in the evening, go to the person's house, go and play with them. The next day, they move to another person's house. And it really helped them. And part of the things that you mentioned, all these loneliness, depression, will not be there because they see people to associate with. So if we can create, I've been racking my head in Nigeria in this area of research, creating a recreational program, sport recreational program for our aging parents in their age group. Let them come every evening, every morning. Let them come together to see their people, to chat. Evening, let them go back there. They form another set of family to work with. If they are having problem, instead of them experiencing loneliness, they have someone to talk to. They have someone to play with. And it will even elongate their lives and the way of living. It will show this missing thing will be away from them. So it will cover up for the social system and the built environment. They are building another life. And it will really help them, and it will even help their healthy living, their healthy lifestyle, and their wellness will be rebuilt again. See another set of people to work with. So I've been looking for a way to get an environment to really see a recreational sports program that can establish for aging people, especially like we have a psychiatrist like Dr. Ladosu. They can, instead of them going into the medication aspect, we can channel also to that area. It will bring them life to life. Imagine telling your 70+ old father to come and be picking ball and see another old woman of 69 to compete with them. You see the joy, the happiness, and everything that it will bring. And my question is now this: what age should we start preparing people for next emptiness? At what particular age? Because people are preparing for this. It will really help them to prepare for the emptiness. That means the next emptiness will not affect them. It will not affect their lifestyle. It will not affect their health. And it will even give the children rest of mind that they are safe. Imagine you are calling your father from London in Nigeria. They say, I'm with my people. I can't talk now. That means they are enjoying themselves and you are happy as a child. Thank you. That is my own contribution and my question to this. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. Bamitale. I think you hit the sweet spot when you said we should look at how we can help our families to get recreated. And I think that would fall under the ambit of the social sort of therapies that we always propose. In the case of my Rashida, she wouldn't engage in any of those things. That's not to say that there is an excess of such facilities here as well. And at what age should we start preparing people? It takes me back to the saying that as soon as a man is born, he begins to die, which by extension, as soon as a man is born and a man grows, we should actually prepare for the emptiness with our mindsets, actually. So as we are growing and as our peers are growing, our contemporaries are growing, maybe we need to have a realization that 20 kids would not play together for 20 years. So in the first year, one of them will go away somewhere. In the second year, another one would go away. And so we should actually be ready from our teenage years. It's a mindset thing, I suppose. And there's a lot of cultural elements to it. Because if we look at, I was very interested in what Linda was going to say, except that she got caught up. I think the Western cultures are better adapted to this sort of situations because there are care homes, they have clubs, etc. However, what happens in the care homes and in the places of sanctuary is another thing entirely. But that's my take on that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. Thank you, Mr. Bamitale, for the contribution. Mr. Tunde Falola.
Good evening.
Good evening.
God bless you for the wonderful presentation. Very splendid and timely. But my question is based on the example of your Rashida that you gave. What can we attribute to the behavior of those children to their mother? When the mother even felt that she was lonely and she wanted to move closer to them by selling her house, and the children responded that if she comes closer, they will move far away and she will not see them again. What could we attribute to that attitude? Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think in the clinic environment, we get to appreciate the cultural differences and nuances in our cultures. So it was a bit strange looking at it from the outside, ab initio, but later I realized that the children of this woman had had a perceived hurt growing up from the woman, from my Rashida. And so because of that, they didn't want to have a lot to do with her. The Rashida woman is somebody with some sort of personality problem, almost a narcissist who likes to steal the show all the time. So when one of her children was getting married, she was on stage, in the big hall, and she feigned a seizure. And so that disrupted the wedding. She was like the star of the show, get out to the hospital, the wedding was disrupted, etc. So when the second one was going to get married, she didn't get an invite. So there are many little things, within the family environment that determine how people react. That said, it might be part of the native, natural culture, growing culture of this society for people to want their independence. I mean, children live away from home from the age of 16. It's just cultural. It's what the society promotes. So I think, again, that's my reading of that situation. Thank you.
Thank you very much. God bless you. Because on this side of our country, it's a prayer of every parent that the children and move and have their own establishment.
No doubt. No doubt.
God bless
No
you.
doubt. Thank you, Mr. Tanvir.
Okay, thank you, sir. Miss Idris Zulaiko. Miss Zulaiko, are you there?
Yes,
Can you
I'm
start?
here. Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Hi.
Yeah, this is Zuleika from Nigeria. I'm a recent graduate of pharmacy from Olabisi Nabanjo University. And I actually want to say thank you to Dr. Ladusu for the presentation. I mean, there was a way he caught everyone's attention. For a Gen Z like me, that is always, my attention span is not always easily caught. And I would actually want to ask for the Gen Zs in the building, because we often feel like, oh, we want to just like leave the country once, because I'm from Nigeria, so everyone is just going on to leave the country and all of that. I even have classmates on this call. Some are even planning on leaving already. So what advice would you give to young people considering this move, especially regarding balancing their dreams with their emotional impact on their family? What advice would you give to Gen Zs in the building? So that's what I have. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you. And I think it applies as much to the Gen Z as it applies to the Gen A's, you know, whatever, or even the pre-A's, whatever sort of opinions I may have. I think there are push and pull factors everywhere. And as identified, moving away from Nigeria or from India or Pakistan or elsewhere is an opportunity for growth. However, the devil is in the detail, is in the planning that and in the execution that we might be a bit more strategic than we would otherwise have been. So we want to move. Yes, let's move, but with a plan to visit home, to ring home, to make things available for people at home, to let people at home visit us. You know, I know of people who live here and they frequent their home countries as though they do not even, as though they're so frequent there that you wouldn't know they lived outside the country. So those are the things that we want to put in place to be able to help each other. I would say chase your dreams, but do not forget where the dreams started. I think that's the important question. Have a plan of how to go back, how to ring home, how to make them come and visit you, and how you go back there. And I think everyone is going to be happy. Perhaps some other, my colleagues, people from the audience would have other ideas, but that's my take on it.
All right, thank you very much, sir. Mr. Destiny Chukwuma, are you still there? Do you want to ask a question?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay.
I just want to thank the presenter. Thank you so much for the presentation. And what really caught my attention was the model he presented, showing different stages of life. And I was thinking that because he was able to extend it and remove the upper limit, that it is not just about self-actualization. I'm talking about Maslow's hierarchy of needs. That beyond just working hard, spending time, then becoming the best in your field, that if it is not properly contextualized, it becomes meaningless. And the last days of the person may not be enjoyable. So planning how to really stay close to celebrate our people that are exiting, and also planning for ourselves, because life is in cycles. Planning for ourselves, not to spend all the time to actualize everything and the whole thing just becoming meaningless. I think that's one of the things. That's why I say, oh, this is food for thought. I chatted it there, but I think we should be reflecting on this. It is not just about our parents. What about how we are planning our own, our children? You know, how do we want to relate with them when we are old? You know, and all. So I think that's the only thing I picked from this whole thing, because it's a food for thought that I will continue to reflect on and think about. Thank you so much for this opportunity to listen to you. Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
very
you
much.
very much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. So I think that brings an end to the question and answer session. Thank you very much, sir. Eshegon.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Eshegon.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Wow.
sir. Really
Thank you.
appreciate you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
You, our mentor and the convener of this, Professor Fatia, we really appreciate you. Thank you for bringing us together under this umbrella.
Thank you very much. Next slide, please, Dr. Adesope.
That would be from Alosh.
Yeah.
The next slide, please. Yeah, thank you very much, everyone, for joining us today. And we thank our presenter as well. It's been a good one. And this is a scan code for us to tell us about Alipsa app, the feedback would be very, very important. We would like to have you on this. Please kindly scan this or use the link in the chat box to give us feedback on this. It's very important. We need this to work on our what we'll be delivering to the community and for the growth of the community as well. Thank you for that.
So we've got our next Congress. So we had our Congress 1 year ago, and then our second Congress is here, just to just to show ALIPSA's growth. This time it is in person, but it's also hybrid. So it doesn't matter where you are in the world, you can still join ALIPSA's second Congress. While it might be happening in Bristol, you can also join it. So it would be wonderful if you could join the ALIPSA Congress, which is on the 1st of October. And then this builds upon our workshop we did about a month ago about faith leaders and community, how much faith leaders can change physical activity and community literacy in the community. So it's going to be a very, very interesting Congress, interesting event. So please join us in person if you can, if not online. The link to join the Congress would be in the chat box as well, but we would also share it in the WhatsApp community as well. So, which takes me to the WhatsApp community. So, as I said,
sorry, pardon me, Alosh. I think there are two people raising their hands, and I'm supposed to assist the opportunity to hear them, please. I can see two people raising their hands.
Please, let's have Mr. Destiny. Do you want to say something to us, please? Or was it the old one?
The old one, I've dropped it down.
All right. Okay, ma'am. Mommy Sakina, please, ma. Do you want to talk to us, ma? Mommy. Okay, probably. Mommy Sakina, probably it was, yeah. Okay. It would be good for you to join the community, and one of the ways to reach out to our parents to let them get involved is to invite them into the community. I think this is one of the one of the interventions too.
It is.
By the time we bring them into the community, they can join the webinar. You can sit beside them, or even through our phone. I have had the opportunity of sending the link to my mom as well. Then she's guided on how to get to do it, and we should just use this opportunity to get them into the community and always invite them as well. The recordings too, you can always get the recordings on YouTube. Give them the link to watch the recordings as well. It will go a long way to help them, to support them. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the presentation. Just to double check, there was no questions in the chat box as well. I couldn't read the chat box for some reason.
I'll just check through to see if we have any question there. I don't think so. Okay.
Excellent. So in that case, first of all, let me thank Dr. Ahmed again. As we've seen from the questions and also the discussions it generated, the presentation it generated was a very important topic for the ALIPSA community. Thank you so much for giving up your time to do this from everyone at ALIPSA. And as always, thank you so much for all the people who joined the webinar. This is a very important webinar, the one just before our Congress. So as we have said about the Congress, please join us online or in Bristol if you can, and please complete the form for the ALIPSA app. That is our future, and we want to understand what you would want from something like that. Thank you everyone from ALIPSA, and we'll be back next.
Thank you. Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah,
Thank
Alosh,
you.
can you play the
Bye.
video?
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks for present. Thank you. Thank you for joining.
My name is Fatiha Nei Odumosu, and I'm an associate professor of physical activity and health promotion in UWI Bristol. I founded ALIPSA, and I'm the lead on ALIPSA. So ALIPSA is an acronym from Aging Lifestyle in Blacks and Asians. It's a knowledge exchange program which is focused on improving health literacy among the ethnic minority background. So the focus is on the Black and Asian communities because that's where I'm from, and that's where the majority of the admin members are from. And we're quite passionate about reducing health inequalities based on the existing health disparities that occur within this group of people.
I'm Chang Ma. I'm a senior lecturer in public health at UWI Bristol. So my role within this ALISA network is acting as an admin member and also a collaborator for the ALISA network, and also helping to promote this network to the Chinese ethnic minority, and also helping them to have a better understanding about the importance of physical activity and nutrition. Through this network, we can spread this physical activity message to the community.
Yeah, the brain behind ALIPSA is made up of 6 admin members, which include my humble self, Alosh Jos, who is the CEO of Cricket Cube, a community-driven cricket business company based in Newcastle. We also have 2 medical doctors on the team, Dr. Giselle and Dr. Abolanle Adispe, as well as a doctoral researcher, Oluwatobi Fatola. We have Dr. Cheng Ma, who is also a senior lecturer in public health as well. ALIPSA provides a platform whereby community members from the Black and Asian ethnic groups could be empowered through health literacy. And we feel that this would reduce health inequalities among this group of people, thereby increasing access to health services. We believe that when people are literate about their health condition, they have autonomy over their health, they are quite empowered over their health, and they have self-confidence to access health services, and that will go a long way in reducing health disparities among these communities. We will understand the barriers they face in accessing health services, and we can collectively work together to look at a well-tailored form of interventions that would enable them to access these health services. So ALIPSA is a program that helps to empower the communities. We run our monthly webinars, which involves inviting multidisciplinary group of speakers that give tailored health-related topics. And we use this platform to engage the communities on the experience with related topics. Outside the webinar, we have a robust WhatsApp community, which has over 120 members, and we do engage with our community members when it comes to resourcing health services, sharing links on ongoing research, sharing links on how to access specific facilities or resources tailored on health promotion within these ethnic groups. We also have a lot of volunteers who join us. Our webinars are well attended from different countries. This is not limited to the UK. We have people join us from other countries such as Netherlands, Canada, Malaysia, Australia, United States, Nigeria, Ghana, and several other countries. We